Hi everyone, I'm here with Brent. Brent, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, Brett Tyler, been with Tai for about 6 months now. Been in the industry for about 24 years now, and was a broker for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm at Tai Software, and we're we're the best in class TMS for freight brokerages and 3PLs out there.
Okay.
And really happy to be here and talk to you a little bit more about Tai and the experience that we've had.
Awesome. Well, I've walked through this whole exhibit hall that we're sitting in right now. This is a tech conference, obviously. There are a lot of TMS companies exhibiting here. And so I know that if there's a broker right now looking for TMS, that there's like almost an overwhelming amount of options.
Yeah.
There's a lot out there to consider. But I want to give you guys credit because you guys have, you're not the oldest TMS out there on the marketplace, but you guys have taken an impressive amount of market share and gotten a lot of attention in the brokerage space in the last several years. So I just want to ask you, like very candidly, what are brokers looking for? And what is driving their decision making when they are evaluating TMS technology? And then let's start with that. And then I already have a second question for you.
Well, great. Yeah, TMS has been around for a long time, and just recently through tech advancements, there's been a lot more automation in the TMS space. And when they're coming out and reaching out to us, we're able to show them how automation is really able to drive growth.
Yeah.
Right now there's a lot of manual tasks that some of the older TMSs that they're using are making them do, and when they're leveraging Tai, it really allows them to automate a lot of those manual processes they're doing, through the API integrations that we have, both on the truckload and on the LTL side, and really helps them scale their business.
Yeah, and so automation is, I don't want to say a buzzword. I don't think it's I actually don't think it's used enough, maybe.
Yeah.
When we don't talk about automation of these processes enough. I think I'm a fan of nearshoring, staffing, but I think that almost to an extent we've kind of used it as a crutch, where we're taking these things that are just so unnecessarily tedious and data entry and just things that aren't efficient, and we're saying well, we can at least get the same quality of work but for a little bit cheaper if we partner with someone nearshoring. I think there's a huge opportunity to start evaluating technology in those spaces and even giving that same technology to your nearshore partners so that they're improving their quality of work, they're being able to do more. So I think everything needs to be about automation if it's driving efficiencies within operations. And so from the way you've already positioned Tai, it sounds to me like Tai's main focus is kind of on trying to figure out what role a TMS plays in creating automation efficiencies.
Yeah, and it's also about just giving a brokerage, one pane and one view to really execute their business without having to have multiple screens open too. So, we have a truckload quoting screen, which gives them the ability to see all the tools. When I was a broker, I used to have 8 screens open.
Yeah.
And this just gives you everything you need to really effectively execute your job very quickly. And then the automation takes place too on both the back end and the front end.
Yeah.
So from an accounting perspective, we do things that other TMSs don't do as well. That really sets us apart when we get in these conversations with these organizations, and they're making that decision because it's a tough decision, right?
Yeah.
When you're getting a new TMS, it's a huge change management for the whole organization from the top down. So you really have to make sure you're making the right decision. And when they see how we can deliver on both the front and back end with our execution, it really resonates with them. And then, obviously they talk to other Tai customers too, which helps.
Yeah.
Because,
What I feel like our marketplace has changed, where we've used the word ecosystem a couple times in these interviews today, where we're looking at a TMS system as the ecosystem that houses other tools and technologies, or AI or automation from these different platforms too. So how critical has that been to you guys when you're talking to brokers? Because I love specifically focusing on brokers because brokers always have two sides to everything, right?
Yep.
There's more information and data moving than a carrier has just naturally, because a carrier is directly to the broker or directly to a shipper. But brokers sit in between carriers' data constantly, shippers' data constantly, right? And so there's just more going on there, and naturally. So how are you guys helping them bring in the tools that they've identified work for them, and how does that work within Tai?
Yeah, so on the truckload side, we have direct API integrations with all the load boards, all the major pricing tools, carrier onboarding tools, and we get a lot of references from them because they know that we have a really, and one thing that we like to say is not all integrations are created equal.
Right.
And we have really good integrations with all of these partners and these truckload tools. So they'll tell these brokers when they're talking to them, hey, you should talk to Tai. We have a really good integration set up with them, and it's really effective for the people that work with us.
Right.
So we're able to give them that ecosystem on that page where they see everything, and it helps their team be more efficient and get more done in the time they have. When I was a broker, you used to be a rock star if you could cover like 9 to 10 loads a day.
Yeah.
Now it's more than doubled that with the tools that are in front of you
Yes.
and the automation around there. Whether you're using a capacity tool or you get all the load board information in there, and the e-sign capability, that's all done within our system. So yeah, that ecosystem, bringing all those partners together and allowing those brokers to execute at a much faster pace. And then on the LTL side, it's about 95% automated.
Sure, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a very firmly held opinion that the brokerages that will be successful in 5 years are the ones who leaned into like automation first, or even if they weren't first, they figured out how to adopt it the fastest and really actually let it drive like increased margins and increased competitiveness in their marketplace. And I think that this is like really important when you're investing in your primary, like the core of your tech stack, that it's something that you can look out like 5 years and say, this is going to work in 5 years as we continue to evaluate other tools that are hitting the marketplace to see if they work for us. We can't be hindered in implementing those because we made like this heavy investment in something that wasn't friendly to an ecosystem.
Yeah, and some of the best tools that we've come on recently are from customers and prospects of ours that I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
And they've been like, hey, we'll work with you guys, but we want to bring, these guys on as well.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, sure, we'll talk to them. And then we're like, holy cow, this is great. Whether it's, an appointment scheduling or something like that, right? There's great new tools that are coming out every month that I get the privilege of being able to find out about and bring them to the market when I'm talking to other prospects.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Is this your first Trimble Insight conference?
It is. It is. Yeah. No, it's been fun. I love Las Vegas to begin with, so.
It's a good place to go.
Yeah. No, it is. So.
What's been your favorite part about the show?
I would say, because I've always been in the brokerage space, there's a lot of more asset-leaning type of people out here, and just getting their perspective of where things are at in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And, what's driving that portion of the industry, because I have been, as a broker my whole career, focused on that part of the business and, selling to shippers when I was a broker. So it's interesting to get more of the tech providers that are on the asset side, understanding what they can do, and it's just going to help me as I talk to more people in the market.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, and I have one last question for you. How's your golf game been since the last time I've seen you?
Yeah. So we had the pleasure of golfing together at a conference in Kansas City, and I actually don't think I did that bad that day, if I remember correctly. It was
hit the ball
pretty good.
really well. My girlfriend can hit the ball pretty good too.
Yeah.
You kick her butt.
So I haven't golfed enough this year, but it's been good. We're working some things out. I have a lot of lessons planned for the winter.
Yep.
So
I've been taking lessons since I saw you, so my game's improved. So
we'll have to have a rematch and try again.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, you too.